Hey, what's going on, 8th graders? I'm going to make a quick video on how to, on our lesson for the day. So, our objective is twofold. I want you to make a racetrack that has a timer, and I also want you to have a sprite that follows your mouse. So the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is you can go to Create, and from here you are going to make a background for a racetrack. And to do that, you're going to get rid of this sprite, delete. Down here, so down in the left-hand corner where there's stage backdrop, you're going to click on the paintbrush new paint or paint new backdrop. Click on that. It pulls up your backdrop. Now notice there's two here. I'm just going to delete the one that just popped up, but here is the one I'm going to work on. So the next thing I want to do is I want to go to Fill Color, and I am going to click on green for the sake of a racetrack, and there it is. It's green. The next step is to come up here to the paintbrush tool, and I'm going to use that to paint my road. And I want my road to be black, so here's the black. Now if I just go right now, that is too small for a racetrack, so I'm going to come down here to this line width tool, make it pretty big, and this is what I'm going to use for my racetrack. So that goes up like this. Done. Racetrack is complete. The next thing I have to do is I need to put in a finish line, so I'm going to put this, use yellow. Click here. It still would be too big, so I'm going to shrink this down to a pretty small width, a little bigger than that. And I'll put it right here. Now, the next thing I want to do is I'm going to put my sprite in. So I'm going to go back to sprites, choose from library, and I will choose the beetle. You know I'm a fan of that. Too big! So I'm going to move them where I want them to start, and then I'm going to shrink them down. Alright. So that is going to be the first part of your project. And then, so you should, right now you should have a racetrack with a finish line and a sprite to move around. Could be any sprite. I'm going to save it now as racetrack, racetrack 2B. You could make yours whatever you want. I'm going to go File, Save Now. It is now saved. What I'm going to show you now is a track that's already done. So if I go to My Stuff, this is where you're going to go to find anything that you've already saved. There we go. This is a racetrack that I already have done. And so this is a working racetrack that I'm going to ask you to recreate. So if I click on See Inside, loading, here's my leaderboard, and you'll notice when I click the flag, this will disappear. So that disappears. Now I have a rocket ship going around my racetrack. So when I hold down the space bar, it will follow my mouse around the track. And that is what I want yours to be able to do. I want you to be able to hold down the space bar, follow your mouse around the track, and when it touches yellow, it shows up what time did I just get, 17.4 seconds. So, and the timer keeps going, there's nothing you can do to stop it, but I did stop everything else in terms of the code. So if I just stop that, let's take a look at the code now. So here's the code you need to have in yours. And so the first thing I'm going to do is when the flag is clicked, I'm going to tell it where to start. And so when I move this around, it was touching green, that's why I did that. When I move this around, that is going to be its start location. When space is pressed, that tells it to move, and so you have to hold spacebar down for it to constantly be moving. The next thing, when the flag is clicked, wait until key space is pressed, and that will reset the timer in. So if I stop this, start it, so if it's going, I press the spacebar, it resets it so I can get an accurate time. The next code to look at is right here, and this is forever. If touching green, move back 5 steps. And so what that does is, if I bump into these walls, that just glitched because I forced it in. But if it bumps into the walls, it will go backwards. And so that is what that does. The last thing I want to point out to you, to get the list to work for the times, the first thing you have to do is go to Data, and you're going to click on Make a List. And so when you click on Make a List, I'm going to type in race times. That is how you get all these blocks, because if you don't make a list, none of these blocks will be here. And these are the blocks you're going to use to fill in hide list, show list, and then add, and that's this one right here, add thing to race times. And so what that looks like, if I just take this block right here, I'll duplicate it real quick and show you what it looks like. And so this add block right here is add, and then inside of that I have join, username, got, timer, and inside that I have another join. So really it's join, open space, timer, join, username, got. And so these will go in here, got and timer. Move that to right there, and that will go into that box. And so that is where that block of code comes from. Let's see, that should just about do it, and that way when you hold on, you click the flag, that my sprite will go back to the start. Hold the space bar and it'll go around. One last thing I want to point out to you is I put in a green line right here that matches this background, and that's in there so I can't go that way into my yellow line. I can get a true time going around the track in the direction I choose with that. So let's see, I think that should answer all of the questions. Good luck, and I will check these off when you are done. Thanks, guys.